go. Is the CP of that state CID, that's like Panty, is calling for my attention with my big breast. If you always IT, they should play it. It was all over the internet. IT played for them so that they can see it. Before then, mommy gave me a prophecy that she's seeing a conspiracy within me. She doesn't know. She's seeing that conspiracy. I was seated at this side that I should pray against conspiracy. She doesn't know, but I should pray against this. I did the one I can do, the power my strength can carry me. I prayed. We went. The next thing, when we went to see the states here, the DCP, he said, look at this woman now, why don't you get her properly dressed? I wasn't wearing bra, I wasn't wearing anything. They pushed me to the DCP. I went there. The man said, take her back and get her properly dressed and take her to the CP of Ilewero, Abeokuta. I went to the CP. Before I could even see the CP, the next thing I saw, all the newspapers, they were there. Thief, armed robber. I was standing like this, I was shocked. Madam, do you know how reporters used to do? Why did you try to kill your husband? Why did you try? I was never investigated. There was no investigation carried by the police. I was arrested by 11 p.m. By 7 or 8 a.m. the morning, I was accused of a crime I knew nothing about. They started everywhere. You can imagine, it was as if it was staged. The reporters were already waiting for me to come. Immediately I was sent to the CP. They just started their videoing. The next thing I heard is, why did you try to kill your husband? He now asked me, they had arrested 2 people when they picked up the car. That's the SMART, the agent that gives us the drivers of domestic help with one other person. They now asked them, what did she promise you? They said, I promised them a car each. There were 3 of them that did the attack that night. But they dropped off 1 person. So it was the 2 of them that was carrying the car to the east. Then I told them to carry his Range Rover Jeep to the east. Anambra State. There was no brother given. That my brother would meet them up in Anambra and collect the vehicle from them. That when they drop the vehicle at Anambra, I will now give them 1.5 each to buy their car. Look at Toluchi. How much is my salary? I will buy 1.5 for 3 people. That's 4.5. How much am I earning? Then I will sell. How much if I sell the Range Rover self? Will he be able to cover the 1.5? I kept telling them, I know this man, but I don't know this man. Do you know how blogs are? It started spreading. I was kept. I now went back. I said, they now started their investigation. The investigation was supposed to start before the publicity. That's when they started asking me. They started asking questions. You know how statements is? It's what Nigerian police is what they're asking you. You are writing a statement. They asked me, do you know this? I started writing. I started telling them. I was kept. We caught the lorry stop. I was kept in Nelerewa police station for 1 month. They just kept asking me, come out today. They'll keep telling me, confess. When you confess, your husband said he will solve it as a family issue. Confess. That the other 2 boys had confessed. I said, I don't know what to confess. I did not do it. So what am I confessing about? They will go and meet my mother. They will go and meet my father. Tell her to confess that the man has agreed to die to clean up the case as a family matter. So they will not charge me to court. My dad will say, the only question my dad asked me was, Oluchi, did you do it? I said, Daddy, I didn't do it. Why would I want to do it? And he said, I will stand behind you. And he actually stood beside me for 6 years. They kept telling him, tell your daughter to confess. Tell your daughter to confess. Confess to what? A crime I did not commit. Finally, with the help of friends and lawyers, we petitioned the Nigerian police force that this case is a case of Lagos. Why am I being held in Abeokuta? Because I think they were able to manipulate Abeokuta people. This case is a Lagos case. Why am I held in Abeokuta? We petitioned Nigerian police. Nigerian police now transferred my case from Ogun State to Lagos. We came to Lagos. We now came with prayer. So let me give you another thing to show you that this was not an ordinary thing. I started when you see situation, you turn to prayer warrior. I started praying. In the police cell, you sleep on the floor now, obviously. This one was louvers. So I kept praying. There was a particular psalm that kept coming to me. I kept reading it. I think it's Psalm 140 or Psalm 141. You will not allow the devices of the enemies to perform not allow the enemies to perform the devices of their hand. That particular psalm kept coming up to me. I kept reading it on the floor. I can read that psalm like 10 times in a day. I kept reading it. When I finished reading it, something just told me, Oluchi, stand up from there. I said, which one may stand up? I stood up from there. Immediately I stood up. This is where the glass is. Before I could reach where Daddy is, the louvers broke. Exactly where I was sitting, the louvers broke. That same day, my parents were scheduled to come and visit me. This is not a story, it's a real life story. Our senior driver, he had finished washing my dad's other car, the Pathfinder. He just finished it, they were supposed to come and visit me. After finishing washing that car, from nowhere, there were blood stains all over that car. So my mom asked the driver, did you cut your hand? Maybe while washing. He checked himself. There was no blood in the house. If you see the blood in that car, I don't know, there was no chicken, we were not rearing chicken, but there was blood filled in that car. Because we come from a Bible and pray believing church. My parents prayed and said, okay, let's not move. Maybe the road is dangerous. Let's not move today. They prayed. We overcome that side. That was when my own testimony started, because I'm very sure there was something that was planned within that time. We petitioned Nigerian police. We came to Lagos. We first of all went to area, the one in Lion Building. The man saw the AIG. He transferred us to State C. That's the one. CP in Ikeja. I don't know what they call them again. We went there, we saw the CP there. He said, Madam, this is your case with the internet. They find the officer where you go key. They transferred me to Panti. It was in Panti. I stayed in Panti again another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. On that note, my daddy filed for bail. I was granted bail. This same husband, he petitioned Nigeria police that why would they give me bail and not leave the other people. Because of that, the next 2 days or so, I went back to work. I had been away from work for almost 2 months. Thankfully for the job I have been reporting these cases of abuse to them. So it was not new to them. Thankfully, I was now taken to court. When I went to court, I was granted bail. Thankfully, my friend who also stood by me, she's not here. She's a lawyer. She had to drop her certificate. She's a lawyer by profession. She had to stand. They took her certificate from her as a lawyer. I said, I'm standing because you have to stand shorty. Rather, that's the word. She stood as a shorty for me. They took me, but I had to go to Kirikiri prison that same day because your bail is not perfect. That was in December 2016. I went. After 2 days, my bail was perfected. I came out again. I came back to this altar. I prayed. Even in that side, my 2 mommies called me. The woman called Oluchi, this case, I'm going to see you. You will walk with your 2 legs. You will come and celebrate back on this same altar that you are free from this case. At that time, that was 6 years ago. It was like a dream. I was in the heat of the moment. My mom is telling me, I see you carrying people, celebrating and coming back to this altar. It was like a dream. When it happened, I would say I was dreaming. After all the whole runarounds, I came out. I was again charged. They said the magistrate court cannot charge that kind of case. I was charged for attempted murder. I was charged for armed robbery. I was charged for about 3 capital offense, which is a 21-year crime, each of them. So you can imagine, attempted murder is 21 years. Armed robbery, 21 years. The other one, 21 years. So I have 21 times 3. That is what they were wanted to charge their enemy. At the end of the day, we went to court. The judge said she's not going to grant bail. I went back to there. I made friends there. Wonderful people. I made very good friends there. In that same case, God started showing favor. Inside that same prison, the judge said she was not going to grant bail. It was prayers, it was grace, it was favor. Prayers were offered. I had to turn to prayer warrior. You cannot be in that kind of case and not pray. I will pray in the morning, I'll pray in the night, I'll pray in the afternoon, I'm going to the toilet, I will pray. Everybody's praying. At the end of the day, she said she wanted to hear the bail hearing. At the end of the day, they lined up for you. Know when you're going to court, they will handcuff you. You will go, you will stand. They will handcuff you at the back. They will dress you, wear bedroom slippers. Sometimes you don't wear slippers. You will go to court. Inside the court in Lagos, you will go dressed. You will go, not even dressed. What am I saying dressed? You will go now, they will carry you. You will stand at the dock. judge now said, I grant you bail. That's I'm the third defendant in the case. I grant the first and second defendant, she didn't grant them bail. Bail or not discharge. So she granted me bail. That was in 2017. I stayed in Kirikiri for almost 6 months because she said she wouldn't hear bail. Kirikiri prison, that's another story, another life on its own. I started going back and forth to the court. You know how the judiciary system is. We went to court. The cocoa is those boys, they summed up whatever story it is. So the evidence now came that the phone call I made, not the phone call I made, the phone calls that came to my call, the Nigerian police said that it was those two boys I was talking to at that night. I was not the one who called myself. I kept telling them, go to the network provider. I used MTN at that time. Go to MTN, provide a call log. That is what investigation is. There was no investigation. At the long run, they said it. They actually said I sent them in the court, open court, that it was this madam that sent them. But you know, when you're a lawyer, you have a good lawyer, you have the backing of the Holy Spirit, you have everything. By the time they ask them some questions, they will not be able to answer because it's a conspiracy. You know, conspiracy is like a pyramid. You will lie and lie and lie, but when it gets to the top, you can't cover it up. It must break. So when they kept lying, she sent us. She didn't send us. No, it's the police that told us to write this statement. The police told us, so they kept exposing themselves. Each time I go to court, you just see me one step vindicated. They will just keep roping themselves in. I kept praying. From 2021, they were going to give the final judgment. The woman started postponing it. Every week, she would give me a date to come for judgment. You know how it is. You have prayed. You have told God, this case, we will pray. That same day, I went to their Papa headquarters. It was the next week I was going for court. I went to their Papa headquarters. I told Mommy, my court is next week. Oh. Mommy prayed and said, it is not clear. There's still something that is hanging. The judge herself is not convinced to inside her. Let us go back to God in prayer. On that Apapa altar, she prayed with me and she said, Toluchi, if you are going now, you are going to get a postponement date because God is not yet through with your case. What do I know? I believed. I believed in my heart. The truth is that I believed. I believe because we have prayed. And any word of prophecy that comes out of this man, I grab it because I know where I'm coming from. And I know the spirits behind me. I know the mamas behind me. I carried it within myself. We went to court. The judge said, she's not yet prepared to give this judgment. Exactly what she said. She just said it. She went there. When she said, I'm not prepared for this judgment. She apologized. Please, can we move it another day? I said, this is what Mommy said. You know, it is rather you hear the end than when you want it. At that time, my spirit was ready for the judgment. But because God had not finished working, He's taking His glory because He alone needed the glory. He had not finished with the glory. I went the first time. It was not clear. I came back. I didn't tell my mommy here. This is my parish. I didn't tell my mommy I went to headquarters. I went, I told her. She prayed again. She said, it is not yet time for this miracle to surface. We believed. We prayed. We went. On the right day, I had prayed that night. My mommy here, we hadn't, because we are, if I tell you the amount of prayers that were offered, hey. When I was there was no night she wouldn't call me. She would tell me, Oluchi, what I see is that you will come. But you know, sometimes, in the midst of darkness, we are not able to see the light. And that is why they are there. To tell me, Oluchi, I'm seeing it. It will come to pass. Do you believe? I say, yes, I believe. But because we are humans, if you look at it, not, the next thing, the devil will show you some difficulty to look at it. But at that time, I believed. Then we came. That day of the day the judge came, immediately it was 5 or 6. She called me. She said, these other prayers in the midnight, that God told her that today is my clearance. What do? I jumped up. I was in daddy's car. I didn't even know when you know how you jump in the car. He said, today is the day of your freedom. I believed it. I prayed. I entered the court. I was confident. with what I have heard. We have prayed all night. We have soaked ourselves. I have soaked myself so much in prayer that, God, He cannot be a liar. I have soaked myself that me, myself, I have so much that I believe that today was the day. I went there. She started. It was our turn. They called us. My beautiful cousin is in the house. She followed me to the court. She came. They started giving judgment. I was the third defendant. So she started with, they'll start with the first one. She read, looking at, it's a long one, looking at the circumstances, looking at the evidence, I find you guilty as charged. Hey, at that point, my heart, I started shaking. You know how the devil will put a little bit of doubt inside of you. Hey, they don't find this one guilty. I just kept praying, God, you will not shame me. But inside me, I was shaking. The second one, they said the same thing. Hey. It now came to my turn. I was the third defendant. She now started, read all when we go to court, we stand for about 3 hours when they are talking this talk, they are talking. She now started with my own. It was now my turn. She kept saying, there was a, I've actually forgotten some of it. There was a phone call between me and the agent. However, that one I cannot forget. However, there was no proof. Jesus. There was no proof that the call emanated from I'm the third defendant. There was no proof that the third defendant called the first defendant. Thereby, I agree with the testimony of the third defendant, and I discharge her and acquit her of all the crime. Immediately I heard that, I said my case is discharged. She did not say anything. At that time, I was not jubilating because I was afraid. They will tell you, when they give your judgment, don't overshout, because if you overshout, they can change it. That time, I was still afraid. Then she now started saying, this is my judgment. She just gave, this is my judgment. To the first defendant, I charge you life imprisonment. I stand on the crime of attempted murder. I charge you life imprisonment. On the charge of armed robbery, I charge you 21 years imprisonment. On the other count, I charge you death by hanging. She now told me, you are discharged and acquitted. I said, God, you are too much. You are too much. You did it for me. I was free. This God changed my story. In the morning I will pray. In the night I will pray. God remove life imprisonment. How would I have been rotting in the jail? What will I do? This God, He showed me mercy. He showed me favor. I am grateful.
Yeah.
started saying, it's a lie. It's not possible that we have gone to bribe the judge. Right there in court, they started shouting, this one is money, oh. This one is money, oh. It is not money. It is grace. It is not money. I did not pay 1 naira to this judge. What do I even have? I did not pay 1 naira to this woman. I kept praying, God, use my innocence. I will not go in for a crime I did not commit. Favor, mercy. Is it mercy? God showed me. I'm the one God showed mercy. He showed me mercy. 21 years, life imprisonment. He rolled it away without 1 naira. 1 naira. That is why I've come to say, God of Twin South Salvation Ministry, God that did this thing for me, I am thankful. My family will continue to praise you. Let me give an instance. When that night, because that night of discharge, the Bible, what of the Bible said, when something that drink dreams, they'll be like them that drink dreams. Yeah. That particular night, I would wake up and say, Oluchi, are you still on your bed? It was like a dream. It was like film. That flash or that thing kept happening to me like almost a week before I had to tell myself, this is reality. It is not film. I would just wake up. The thing was like, are you free now? Wait till you fear again. It came 1 week. The flashes kept coming. You know, as if you do not believe. That's that portion of the Bible. When God turns the captive of Zion, they'll be like them that dream dreams. I was in captive, but He turned it around. So sometimes I would jump up and say, hey, am I still there? I was no longer there. I have been free. It happened like 7 times before I had to come to the realization, oh, Luchi, you are free. Freedom got you without a price. Freedom got you without 1 naira. Hell, there's this song I wanted to sing, but I don't know it. Okay, Chi. Okay, if you know, please sing it for me. I think Stella, you know how to sing it. Come and sing it for me. I got Jesus. I got Zion. I got Jesus. So if you can sing it for me. My testimony. It should be out there in the world. Something happens here. You will say, this road, this is where I found my Jesus. This place, I found my safety. This place, I found my freedom. This place, I found my peace. Even if the road is like this, I will come. Even if the road is upside down, I will come. Because this place, I got freedom. 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 I walk on the road. Nobody's telling me, because that time when you're walking on the road, you cannot walk. There must be a wardress beside you so that you don't run away. Now I walk. There's nobody beside me. There's no one beside me telling me don't walk too fast. Hey, come back. Nobody's telling me that again. I walk like a free man. God, to God be the glory. I can say, I can continue and continue and continue.